Good morning, everyone. Thanks very much, Tim. My name is David Giroux. I'm Academic Director of Digital Scholarship in the Humanities Division at the University of Oxford. And in my academic life, I've studied social machines. So that was a lovely segue. Thank you very much. There are other social machinists in the room. I've also been very involved with training in the digital humanities context, involved with the Oxford Digital Humanities Summer School since it was formed in, 2011. And also, I'm one of the founders of the UK Software Sustainability Institute. But on the summer school front, I was joined by Megan just before the pandemic as the incoming director of the summer school after Pip Wilcox. And it's been a great privilege to be working with Meg and with her amazing team. And what you're seeing here is a result of that team's work. Over to Meg.
Thanks. And I work at the Bodleian Libraries in the University of Oxford. Dave's mentioned the Digital Humanities Summer School, and I've got a background in working not just in libraries, but also museums and heritage. We were really excited to bring our digital and our training sides together as part of the TANK programme. And we're here to tell you about how we've approached towards digital collections, resources for galleries, libraries, archives and museums. Trust us, we did think about having a snazzier title, but in the end we decided to follow our own advice in the course and optimise for search engine recognition. Throughout this talk we have used images from digital collections throughout the UK, often with entirely tenuous connections to what we're saying, so look out for those. Some of the objects were just too good not to share. Like this one. People sometimes assume if it's not online, it doesn't exist. Probably not the people in this room or at home or in your office online. We know how far away from realistic that assumption is. And who knows how many more fabulous bestiaries with weird cats are out there that have not yet been digitised. I think the other thing that we're all really aware of is that it costs money to digitise. Not just the machines, it's the people and their expertise. Digitisation isn't just buy a scanner and job done, but something that involves many aspects of the museum, library and archival processes. It's the people with those skills. Some of them are old skills: curatorial, conservation, collections management, metadata gets a big shout out so far at this conference, but some are newer to the sector around digital engagement, programming, and our old friend AI.
So in our game of Spot the Artifact, that's an old computer, so that's the cue for me. So on the technical skills, obviously we weren't taught all these digital skills. We weren't taught about AI, even though I should say AI did exist back in the days of the BBC Micro. So we've come to this from many different places. However, to do digital collections doesn't mean you have to know how to program. You don't have to be experts on Python. You can be. And so what we try to do in these training materials is really give you a way in wherever you're starting from. You don't have to have any particular level of technical expertise, but you may have some level of technical expertise. So in that journey, you recognise the map. This is Oxford Road, Manchester. You may be walking around this map individually or in groups. You may be starting at different places. You may be picking up your journey later and resuming it. And what we've tried to do with the training resources is make sure we can help you start from scratch or pick up from wherever you are on this and then go further along the journey. This is another artifact. It's an enigma. Another cue for me, curious. So our aim is to make everything as open as possible. If we, one of the great affordances of digital is accessibility and our ability to share it and to build on it. So we want to help you make your collections as digitally available as possible. We want to follow fair, findable, accessible, interoperable and reproducible. In our context, that's about finding collection items, using them, making use of the data and the metadata, and then making things available for others. And in an ideal world, the more people use things, the more it adds value to those things. And this is how we present the work. This is a dinosaur. It's called Alan. Meg can explain that. If we were to ask AI to draw a museum curator, They may be, I don't know if they might look a bit like me. If you ask them to draw a librarian, it says here you might get a woman with glasses and a cardigan. But the point is, we're not those visual stereotypes. This is an amazing community. It's been a great pleasure to work with everyone. And what we're trying to do is empower all the different individuals, all the amazing skills that you have in various domains, and really help organisations and individuals work for change. Digital is part of that journey. And finally, for me, this is a picture of a capacitor, and it's like this is capacitor building rather than capacity building. Although, I mean, just technically, I think that the date at which that was taken, it would have been called a condenser, but that's another story. The point is, we can't build capacity in this sector by bringing lots of money to buy more capacitors and more people. What we need to do is make use of what we've got, and what we're presenting here with the training materials is a way of developing the staff we do have. So our free resource is part of that. Back to Meg.
Thanks. And it would be lovely if we all had unlimited time for training, to read and research, but we don't. We have exhibitions to develop, collections to manage, books to circulate, visitors to work with. The training steps we've designed have been done with short text, activities, videos and worksheets, so you can pick them up and do small bites of training when the need suits you. And as with crafts, learning is cumulative. Every stitch that goes to build a quilt or every stitch that gets you closer to that completed jumper, bear with me on my tenuous metaphor, is like learning. It's one step builds on the other. The training steps mean that you can dip in and come back and it builds on your learning. And exquisite dresses like this, it really is getting tenuous now, may give you confidence. Think of our training as that confidence building thing to let you go forward. Confidence with terminology, with some of the concepts, so that even if you aren't undertaking some of the work yourself, you know how to talk about it or what its potential is. And being confident, building confidence isn't about bravery necessarily. It's about knowing what the right tools are for the right job in hand. This image, by the way, is a toolkit from what I think is the best named museum, the Devil's Porridge Museum. In the training resources, we talk you through some of the key components of digital collections and the kinds of tools you can use to deliver them. We have options for different sized organisations and, importantly, different budgets. But I fully expect that you'll come up with your own solutions to the problems that you need to solve in your unique contexts. And hopefully these tools will be the way to do that. There will be bottlenecks. And obviously, these are the best bottles. Some learning curves are quite steep. We can't promise to make you fluent in computer coding, but we've got some practical examples to get you started and show you how it can be not too scary. If you're already a Pythonista, then fine. Some technical requirements might need external help, and hopefully you'll be confident enough in the problem to know what kinds of systems or people or that you may need to recruit or work with to overcome them. For some people, digital collections mean an online version of the internal collections database, but digital collections are not one thing. It's not the be-all and end-all. As I worked on this project, and even as I searched for the images for this PowerPoint presentation, I saw such a delightful range of digital collections: databases, highlights, story pages, objects of the month, online exhibitions, and more. And we've developed the resources to help you achieve digital collections goal for your organisation, whatever the size or sort of organisation you are working with. But one of the greatest strengths in this sector is its people. People who generously offer advice and share knowledge on mailing lists, at conferences, or when people email you out of the blue to ask for help. That works within GLAM organisations, but also between them. And we've seen that programmes such as TANK have sought to work across the very real differences between galleries, libraries, archives, and museums, and the practices of the people working in each of them. We hope that this spirit of collaboration can continue, that you are able to reach out to colleagues in other organisations, and also be kind and generous to those who reach out to you. We've worked with some great collaborators on this project, from museums, libraries, archives, and HE. And galleries as well. We did get the full GLAM. And their experience has really been invaluable. We also hope to have funding to be able to continue updating and remodelling these resources for the next few years, because the minute we launch them, they'll be out of date. Something new will happen in AI. And all these tank projects will publish their results. We'll want to update them, and having that resource for ongoing sustainability will be invaluable. But we also know it's not just the people, it's our collections. Whatever you call it, objects, collections, materials, this is why we work in GLAMs, and making our collections digitally available and visible can bring the joy, like this frog, to more than just the professionals. This frog brought me such joy. So we're here, we're at the moment where we are ready to launch our resources. The keyword search I did here was nuclear, red button, and I found cats against the bomb. So we are launching our resources right now. Okay, fun fact, we launched them yesterday because we needed to make sure that they would actually work today. But there we go. They're there, they're available. Please do have a look, and there are contact details for us there as well. But that's not the end of the story. Again, this was really just an excuse to show Callum the dog, because he's great. But we do have some training events happening from January to March in each of the 4 UK nations and online. Details are available, the QR code there. We also have links from the resources that are on your lanyard. So do have a look and book on, and we'd love to hear more from you. And that is enough from us. Thank you very much.